My name's O'Rourke. I'm the CEO of Ashtons Legal. We as a firm, we're East Anglian based across the whole of the region, multi-service sort of firm, servicing clients both locally, nationally and in some instances internationally. Broadly speaking, about £20 million turnover business. Well, obviously there's been a lot of hype around AI and robotics for a number of years now in the press and the media. And whilst the hype might suggest that everything's going to happen a lot sooner than reality might be the case, we are still nonetheless aware that the world is changing around us. Various other industries have already been disrupted. You look at what happened to blockbusters, HMV, what's happening to retail with Amazon, etc. A lot of commentators would suggest the legal services market is one that is ripe for disruption. We operate in a very traditional way. So we've been looking around for a while at providers of solutions that we could start testing to see how some form of automation using robotics would work for us. T-Impact was interesting for us because actually they were the ones who suggested a sort of license model that allowed us to test the water on a very low level investment basis and then build up and scale up from there. Yeah, well, we identified a number of areas where we thought robotics might play a part in helping us find solutions for sort of product bottlenecks or productivity issues we had within the business. So our first step was to actually have T-Impact come in and work with us in identifying what they were and then looking at where we might apply robotics as a first trial. And looking for really something that could give us a good proof of concept before then looking at how we might extend it to other parts of the business. So I think we came up with about 20 different areas of work that we could apply robotics to, and then we just picked one based on what we thought would be an easy proof of concept to start with. Well, the solution we adopted was a data cleansing solution. So actually, in terms of a client front-facing, it won't have a massive impact. We deliberately chose that. It was a proof of concept for us. So we're looking for something that we could take comfort in works behind the scenes rather than exposing our clients to an experiment to start with. Certainly my experience of working with T-Impact has been a very positive one. Some suppliers you find treat you very much as they're a supplier and you're the customer and there's no interaction or engagement between the two. As I said earlier, we signed up with T-Impact because we quite liked the model they put together, which allowed us a small-scale proof of concept trial at relatively modest cost compared to some of the competitors. But that willingness to collaborate and work in partnership has also borne through in the way in which they actually operate as well. So we've seen that there were undoubtedly challenges that have arisen during the course of this process. We were new to using robotics and obviously we were providing T-Impact with a new problem that they hadn't dealt with within the legal sector before. But I think the way we've worked together on that has been a truly collaborative partnership. And that's the way I like to do business, working together to find the solutions rather than the sort of supplier and customer type arrangement you sometimes get. The machine learning aspect of going down the UI path, and that has been a big thing for us because our data cleansing exercise, we've got 370 odd people in the business and they're all inputting data in slightly different ways. So actually having someone who can spot that and over time identify those nuances and learn rather than having to be taught is a big aspect for us. So we're expecting to see continued improvement in the robotic solution over the 3-month trial after go live as it continues to evolve. T-Impact introduced us to UiPath and it was the first I'd come across that. But what was exciting for us was the way in which UiPath allows you to do machine learning. So not only building the robot for day one, but actually how that robot then using UiPath will continue to evolve over the period whilst it's working, using that machine learning to improve its performance. And that's what we're looking really keen to see over the 3 months of the trial period. That's a good question. I think it changes every time I think about it, to be honest with you. At the moment now, I think actually we probably have started with a more challenging project than we actually envisaged it would be at the outset. And we could have started with something that would have been less challenging both for T-Impact and for ourselves. So as I mentioned earlier, T-Impact have had to absorb some additional work and costs in getting us to where we are. And the value of that work is yet to be tested. I think we could have probably chosen something that would have been client-facing. It would have been a bigger, braver step for us, but that's hindsight for you. We deliberately chose not to. But now that we're there, I think we would have liked to have chosen something that would have had a more immediate impact for our clients.